Good evening. I'm John Yang. A new round of heavy rains and a renewed threat of flooding in central Texas today interrupted the search for those still missing from the devastating 4th of July flash floods. 10 days after the fast moving waters of the Guadalupe River swept away homes and vehicles, the full extent of the human toll is still emerging. The death toll has risen to nearly 130, with more than 170 people still unaccounted for. Tony Plohetski is a reporter with the Austin American-Statesman and Austin television station KVUE. Tony, what are conditions like right now, and any indication of when searchers will be able to get back to work?
John, we have had flash flood warnings throughout the region all afternoon as bands of heavy rain and thunderstorms move through this area. Of course, everyone is looking to the sky given what happened here about 10 days ago. But with regard to the rescue, as we know, it was halted earlier this morning due to that flooding threat, that continued flooding threat. But officials say they are prepared to begin resuming the search for possible victims of this flooding as early as late today and definitely overnight and first thing tomorrow on Monday.
As that search goes on, is there a possibility that some victims may never be found?
John, that is the grim reality that many families are beginning to confront, given the fact that now the search has gone on for so many days. There are emerging conversations, particularly, for example, in the legal community here in Austin, about what that could mean with regard to possibly obtaining death certificates, settling the estates of some of the victims of the flood. John, I'm told that soon after 9/11, the Texas legislature actually put a new law in place that would allow loved ones and families of victims of natural disasters to obtain death certificates within 10 days of a disaster similar to the one that unfolded here.
And talk about the process of what our officials are doing to identify those who have been found.
John, this is a very difficult task. What I'm told is that local justices of the peace in Kirk County have relied on a number of ways to try to identify victims of the flood, including visual determination of some of the victims. At the same time, though, we know that autopsies have been ordered for some of them, and their bodies have been taken to both medical examiners' offices in Travis County here in Austin, as well as Bexar County in San Antonio. John, we're told that in addition to that, authorities are also relying upon rapid DNA that they are actually sending for testing at the University of North Texas, that's outside of Dallas, to try to verify and confirm the identities of some of the victims before releasing them to their families for funeral services.
And speaking of the funeral services, I understand they are underway, funerals and memorial services. I know you've spoken to people who've lost family members and other loved ones. Tell me about those conversations.
As you can imagine, particularly with parents who have lost their young children, the grief is just unimaginable. The fact that there are so many funerals happening across the state. Right here in Austin, we know that a number of young girls died at Camp Mystic. This tragedy has impacted people that I know, that my family knows directly. So I think of Lenny McCowan, who died alongside her best friend at Camp Mystic, Abby Pohl. I've been in touch with the parents of both of them. I also think of Mary Stevens, who was an 8-year-old who also died at Camp Mystic. And so the families are, of course, continuing to grieve, as is the entire community. And by now, knows of all of their stories.
Tony Plohetski with some heartbreaking details from Austin, Texas. Thank you very much.
Thank you.